Our turn. Okay. Hi guys. We are class difference and inequality. My name is Indy and I'm one of the members. We decided for our project that we will go to the mall and have this interview section with random people. But as we thought we went anywhere, it didn't really go as we planning. So I'm here to tell you about my experience, what I believe, and answer some of the questions. At first, we got to the mall and we were really optimistic about people answering questions. We asked a police officer and he said that he didn't want to be filmed. So I thought it was pretty strange because I see police officers all the time on the news. But I understand he wants his privacy, and we still asked him the question, and I felt that his answer was not as you can go. It wasn't as precise, and it wasn't really the definition I was looking for. So I felt like people has restriction over what they believe inequality is, how would they feel like inequality affect their lives and affect people around us. It wasn't just him. Like, I felt like old people would have a little bit more of a sense how to define inequality as, because they live longer than we did. But we asked one person what elders he believed. He's like, I don't know what that is. So I felt like it was pretty strange. I believe that people are scared to be shown what they really feel like, because the media and all the problem politics around us kind of suffocate people's opinion, and they feel like if I say something wrong I might get caught for it. So I think it was pretty weird. But I also feel like it's important to be free, and it's important to say what you have to say no matter what. I don't think there is a freedom of speech as long as what you say is true. There is a freedom of press as long as what you say is true. What you say is what you think, and what you think is what you said, and that's just it. Now, the question I want to answer is, how would I define inequality? I would define inequality as a system where a group of people or a person feel different or is treated differently. It's important to keep in mind that inequality can not only be physical, it also can be mental. Being different does not mean that you should be treated different. I think we all different in a certain way, and it's important for us to keep that in mind. Thank you.
Good evening, my fellow classmates. I'm here to talk about the various different class differences and inequality that we've experienced through the history of humanity. I feel the dominant perspective we share on social hierarchies has been significantly impacted by literature and the mass media. We can trace this all the way back to the 1700s, where writers such as Alexander Pope and Queen Elizabeth wrote about the social class within their society. It is through literature that we are aware and knowledgeable of the social hierarchy that was evident in past centuries. As for modern society, various sources of media such as radio and television unintentionally depicted the class gap that has been apparent throughout this country's history. Not every individual was able to afford new innovations such as TV and radio when they first came out. Thus, the wealthy usually held innovative resources such as television, while the lower class wasn't able to obtain these new expensive sources of technology. Whether we knew it or not, America's social hierarchy was directly correlated with the individuals who owned radio and television compared to the ones who didn't. Thank you guys.
Literature and speech can be biased. Lack of attention on certain subjects or points of views can strengthen the social hierarchy that exists. However, literature can also be a way to protest the social hierarchy. An example of this is Langston Hughes' Minstrel Men. Minstrel men were used in medieval times for entertainment and service, meaning their place was lower in the social hierarchy. Hughes writes this poem as a way to create empathy for the fact that minstrel men were forced to put a smile on their face, while on the inside they were not happy. Langston Hughes uses this poem to protest the idea that people of lower social class aren't expected to have feelings.
I think the most common form of inequality is wealth inequality, but there are many others like gender inequality and food distribution. Many people are paid different, therefore they have more or less money. Like there's a pay gap between
men and women, and society thinks men are like superior more than women. In the article that we read, the reader passage, Beowulf, the hero was a man trying to defeat a woman, so that's kind of like society thinking men are like superior to women.
From the post-militarism period, I feel like the perspective was more direct. People really started feeling how the class differences and inequality was. A direct quote from the text from an expert from the United States of Bananas by whoever that is, female. Yes. This is a country of abuser and abuse, of exploiter and exploit, and in between there is no music, no love, no beauty. I feel like this quote directly saying that they have some country, like the United States, that are just abusing from other country. Like, they don't, before, in a really old time, you could find like gold here, but now the United States doesn't really have a lot, so you have to reach out from other sources. And reaching out mean abusing them, mean you won't really pay as much as you want them to pay you. So I feel like other countries are being abused by the United States. That's just my opinion, don't quote me on it. I feel like this text does a really good job of interpreting how the United States or how some countries abuse others, and it's really important that I feel like it reflects I feel like it reflects our topic pretty much a lot, and it summarizes every text we have read so far. So wait, that's not the question. I'm here. Okay.
Keep going.
Is there a Sephora?
What would you define inequality as?
What would I define inequality as?
Yep.
Treating people differently.
Okay.
That's how I would define inequality.
Okay.
One person not having the same opportunity as someone else.
Thank you. That would be all.
That's it?
Yeah.